Today I want to talk about tomatoes, and more importantly, what is the difference between indeterminate and determinate tomatoes? Now, if you're a beginner gardener, this is important to know. Now, this is kind of scientific and it's not all glamorous and fun as, harvesting an amazing tomato. But to get to this point, you have to know what type of plant you're planting or buying or what seed you're getting to start. And is your garden the right place for that type of tomato plant? That is why knowing the difference between determinate and indeterminate is so important. I think a lot of people tend to get off into the weeds on this subject, so we're going to keep this down and dirty, straight to the point, and I'm going to teach you why it's important to know the differences and what the differences are within about 5 minutes. So right off the bat, why is this important to know? Why do you need to know this as a beginner gardener? Well, one, the more you know, the better off you're going to be in this amazing journey of gardening. But two, when we're talking about tomatoes, y'all, we're talking about the rock star of the garden. Everybody wants to grow the biggest, baddest, most amazing tomato ever known to mankind and to show it off to everybody. We get it. Okay, so what are the two differences? Well, we're going to keep this super simple here. I'm putting up graphs right here that explain exactly the differences between the two. Why is this important? Well, let's talk about the indeterminate tomatoes really quick. All of these tomatoes behind me are indeterminate tomatoes. And as you can see, I have a trellising system for them, and I'm going to trellis these up that twine because indeterminate tomatoes are a tall, viney type of tomato. They will continue growing tomatoes until the frost kills them throughout the entire season or the sun kills them, but they will continue growing and growing and growing and producing. That's why they're indeterminate. Their sizes are indeterminate. They can just grow and grow and grow. Now, a determinate variety of tomato are like these right here, and they're more of a bushy, compact, smaller tomato plant that normally puts on just about all of its fruit all at the same time within a week to 3 weeks of each other, and then it's pretty much done. It's time to get rid of it. Now, those type of tomato plants are great for succession planting. That way, plant one today and in 2 weeks plant another, and in 2 weeks plant another. That way you constantly have different plants ripening at different times. Those are also great for canning and like tomato pastes, like Romas. So if your goal is to grow a bunch of tomato plants, right, and you get indeterminate tomato plants, well, you want to make sure it has a trellising system. So if you don't have a trellising system, you might not want to get indeterminate tomato plants. Now, another difference between the two, and to me this is a big difference, are the pruning requirements. For beefsteaks or indeterminate tomato plants like these, pruning is incredibly important. You want to take off all the excess suckers and leaves that the plant doesn't need. Whereas on a determinate plant, you don't want to prune that at all because you want to get as much fruit as you possibly can. So you want all those extra limbs growing and producing tomatoes. Where again, on an indeterminate, you really don't want that. You want just to leave the fruiting branches, the branches that have the flowers on them, and get rid of the rest of the leaves, except for up at the top. That's a whole nother video, y'all. This was a down and dirty, quick, fast explanation of determinate and indeterminate tomatoes. Now, I'm using the graphs to really show the differences between the two because they are important. And it's important that if you go to, say, a big box store or your local grocery store and they've got the Bonnie plants or, whatever out front, you want to look at the back of the tag. Most of them are going to say determinate or indeterminate. That gives you an idea of what kind of requirements you're going to need. Do you need tomato cages for, say, determinate? Or do you need a trellis system for indeterminate? You will know your garden better than anybody else. So you know the requirements that you'll need based on what you buy. So again, make sure if you're a beginner gardener, you know the difference between determinate and indeterminate tomato plants. It's very important. I can't stress that enough. My first year, I grew the wrong kind. didn't have the support system that I needed for them, and it wasn't the best experience for me. So I don't want that for you. I want you to make sure that when you're excited, you're getting your garden ready, you're preparing, you've got it planted, you're just ready to show the world that amazing tomato that you're going to grow, that you don't get the wrong stuff and that you're not prepared correctly. And the fact that you're watching this video just shows you're doing your due diligence and you're learning. All right, everyone, down and dirty, quick, fast. Hope you all enjoyed. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, do me the 3 favors: share, like, subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. If you have not joined this fast-growing community of like-minded gardeners, please consider doing so. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you're always notified whenever I upload videos. Everyone take care, God bless. Continue shine bright, harvest hard, learn, get those tomatoes growing, buy the right type of tomatoes for your situation. I'll talk to you all again real soon. Bye.